the fact that if they had arms, they would have gone and got them, and at least come into this with a fighting chance. And if I may, one other thing, them being held against their will, is those 2009-2011 attacks proves they're not being held against their will, because what better time to escape than in the middle of an attack? And they didn't. They held firmly together. But no, they weren't armed.
Colonel, it seems to me that nobody can say that we do not know what has happened already to the residents of Camp Ashraf, and equally that nobody can say at this point that we cannot foresee what will happen to the residents of Camp Ashraf. And I think your testimony today is yet another, compelling warning of the need to act urgently to prevent this disaster from occurring. And I have to say that while I believe we here in Canada as parliamentarians have to join in the sounding of the alarm and doing whatever we can with respect to this responsibility to prevent and protect, I still believe that it is the United States that has both the capacity, the principal responsibility, and I would hope will undertake the necessary action in what you've just said, really, congressional testimony, that either Obama gets clear and express and put Maliki on notice that he will be held accountable, criminally responsible for that which will occur. And I think that the U.S. could refer the matter even to the UN Security Council for reference at that point to the ICC if need be.
Sir, your comments are totally on target, and I agree with you 100%. And to show you how much Maliki is actually behind this, this is the magazine of his political party. The center article is titled MEC Organization, International Terrorist from Previous Dictatorship and the Depth of Western Hypocrisy. And it goes on to blast not only the Mujahideen al-Khalq, but it blasts the West, Europe and North America. And the Iraqis rely on the fact that most Americans do not read Arabic, and I don't. But they also rely on most Americans are not pursuing this kind of information. And it's wrong on my nation's part. And you're right, we have the internet, we have the responsibility. They surrendered. These are American signatures on these documents. And my job was to enforce the agreements of my predecessors. That's why I took a loyalty towards this, and we did enforce, and the MEK worked closely with me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Colonel. I've certainly found your testimony very interesting. But getting to the question of what gets done and does it get done in time, you've indicated that the concerns that have been expressed seem to be falling on deaf ears in the United States. Would you give me some indication of whether what the options are if the U.S. is not going to listen and not going to act? Is there any opportunity of the UN being able to intervene? And is there anything that Canada can do to try to force this question? With the UN, there is. And Tom Ridge has said it probably more than anybody else, is we need to get blue helmets on the ground. And I am more than willing to go with that operation. We need to get the UN even more engaged in trying to protect the people, as I just mentioned. The UNHCR is trying to move. We need to break down Maliki's walls, artificial walls, on cooperating with him, which he hasn't done.
Just some familiarity with an issue with which I wasn't familiar. All right, well, we very much appreciate your testimony, Colonel. It's been a real honor having you here, very illuminating, and I think we're all very appreciative of that. Thanks very much.
Sir, I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
We are adjourned.